No doubt we've all heard people talk about dirty old men who go chasing young Filipinas, just as we've heard many talk about young Filipinas as gold diggers who go in search of much older men to be in a relationship with. In this video, I'll talk about the two very different sides of this story, but no matter which side I look at, such couples are actually suited to each other, even if for very shallow reasons. Just quickly, I want to let you know that I appreciate your support on this channel. When you comment, like, share and subscribe, it helps YouTube to push my videos far and wide, which grows the channel, which of course is my ultimate goal. And of course, don't forget to press the notification bell to receive all future videos. Now it's clear no matter what country we're talking about, it takes all sorts of people to make up the world. And where the Philippines are concerned, the biggest controversy often comes when speaking of young Filipinas who get together with an older man. On the surface of it, you may fail to see just how an attractive and youthful Filipina with a whole life ahead of her could be interested in a much older man who's approaching the finale of his life. It really doesn't make any sense at all. Or does it? I often get very strong comments on my age gap videos from guys who call such relationships disgusting, and they may say to leave the Filipina alone and let her enjoy her youth. Are these men really dirty old men looking for a young Filipina to fulfill all his fantasies as he gets older? Or is there something else at play here that most people may not fully understand? Well, clearly, the first kind of such couples I'll discuss are the couples who are simply out to get what they want from each other. In short, they both have certain needs which the other person can fulfill for them. This has nothing to do with love or even fondness for the other person, and is rather a selfish approach by the Filipina and the older man. Yes indeed, there are Filipina gold diggers out there who will look specifically for an older man who is retired and is rather well set up in life. She knows that his time is limited on this planet, and she also knows that not only will he provide her with a very good life while he's alive, but also she'll be well taken care of once he passes away. She's not in love with him, and she views being with him as a necessary step to progress her life, knowing that in years to come, she'll be able to pursue the life she's always dreamed of. And as for the man, well, yes, this is also true that there are dirty old men out there who do specifically seek out a very young Filipina in order to have a prize on his arm that many men may be envious of, and a woman in the bedroom who can fulfill his every desire and fantasy. These type of Filipinas and older men no doubt exist, and in reasonably large numbers. But make no mistake here, these couples certainly deserve each other because they're both as shallow as the other, and really, they both know the score. They're under no illusion that they're in some sort of romantic fairy tale, and they both want to achieve an end to their means. Simply, she wants money that the guy will provide, and in return, she'll become his fantasy girl that he only ever dreamed about his whole life that he never really thought was possible. And so, for the Filipina and the old man, it's a win-win situation. So who can really complain if the two people are happy and they're consenting adults? Which brings me to the second type of young Filipinas and older men that some may confuse and put them into the same basket as the first category I just mentioned. But rest assured here, they are totally different. As I said earlier, it takes all kinds to make up the world. And on the surface, things can look deceiving unless we're able to delve into the mind of such a couple, which I'm assuming most of us can't do. This is where talking to many such couples over the years has given me insight into what makes a relationship between a very young Filipina and a much older foreign man work. Now, of course, we all want some sort of security in life, and it just doesn't have to be financial, which many people assume when they see a young Filipina with an older man. He may also want security in knowing that he has a woman by his side as he gets older who may look after him very well, or someone he knows will love him until his dying breath. There are many types of security both a man and a Filipina are looking for. In such relationships, when you get into the mind of such a foreign man, he may simply have always been attracted to the youth and vibrancy of a younger woman. In some ways, it may make him feel much younger and better about himself, and yes, he can also fall deeply in love with such a woman. She can also provide him to meet all his needs as he gets older, so in many ways it can be a good fit. Now some people will say, what could they possibly have in common, which is a good point. But such couples, as time goes on, will create their own experiences together, which gives them more things in common. Having such a vast difference in age can also provide learning opportunities that one can pass on to the other, which can bring a closer understanding and bond to the couple. As for a young Filipina, is it really that hard to see that in fact she could care for or fall in love with an older man in a genuine way? I'll tell you that I've spoken to many such women, and I have no doubt that what they tell me is 100% true. One of the big reasons that these women are attracted to older men is because they value a man who is settled and stable in life. A man who they know is finished with all his wild ways of partying and playing around with women. Many Filipinas want a man who they can have a solid and settled relationship with, and for many Filipinas that I speak to, they say it's very hard to find this with a man of her own age in the Philippines. You must know that Filipinas take relationships, and marriage in particular, very seriously, and once they commit to a man, they really give it their all to make it work. I'm a firm believer that to create a loving and caring relationship isn't as much about age as it is about mindset. If the couple both have a mindset or mentality where they care for, love and always put each other first, then the relationship will become stronger as time passes by. And this is something that many Filipinas truly do understand. They have a unique ability to realise what makes a relationship last for the long term and to be happy whilst in that relationship. It's not all about having a handsome hunk of a man to latch onto, because she's seen this before and it hasn't ended well. In many ways, she understands what she wants in life is compatible with a much older man. And when we talked before about not having much in common, this is certainly one very important factor that the two may have in common. Simply, they're both very much on the same page around many important things vital to the success of a long-term relationship, and they understand one doesn't need to have blinding love to commence that relationship. They have no doubt that this will solidify and grow as time progresses. I honestly believe that Filipinas get undersold when it comes to just how switched on they are in their views and beliefs of what it takes to have a happy and successful relationship. They are certainly more aware than most women in Western countries, and most likely anywhere in the world. It's only when you get to speak to many such women, as I've done over the years, that it all starts to make sense and you really see the true beauty inside of a Filipina. And that's where it really counts. So yes indeed, there are some gold-digging Filipinas and some dirty old men who seek out such Filipinas and vice versa. But there are also more genuine couples that to many outsiders they can't see or understand the difference. On the outside to these people, they all look the same, and as such, they lump them all into the one category of a Filipina gold digger or a dirty old man, which is all rather generic and lacks any real insight. How to know the difference, I hear you ask? Well, instead of judging just from how things look, be open-minded and take the time to talk to people and couples in such a relationship, and you too may really get your eyes opened much wider. It really does take all types to make up the world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.